And if you thought you were old enough to get away with texting and driving, that could soon change.
Well, I'm live in front of the governor's mansion where protesters are barking up a storm over Prop B.
MU students feel that the buses are overcrowded. However, Columbia Public Transit can't afford any more buses.
Missouri outlawed synthetic drug K2, and now they're trying to outlaw a new synthetic drug called bath salt.
Here's a fresh idea. About 5% of the workers here are challenged in some way. In about an hour, the city of Columbia will be rededicating the Daniel Boone building.
Grocery stores, like the one behind me, are in a different ballpark.
A costly city mistake. Now Columbia City Council leaders could take action.
I'm live in front of Townsend Hall where future teachers get education so they can educate students. But as of now, they might not be able to educate anyone.
Missouri Auditor Tom Schweik is looking for ways to make state agencies more efficient.
Law enforcement agencies on the move in Jefferson City. More on that coming up. Bill in the House is causing some smoke. More on that coming up.
This is CiaraCorley in Osage Beach. The recent E. coli reports don't seem to be affecting local businesses. In fact, they may be helping. June had the lowest E. coli reports at the lake this year, and that helped people fall back into their old recreation habits.
We have a lot of people who come down just for recreation that stay here because we have hookups for their boats. And that hasn't really declined for us. That's actually been pretty good.
Hotels like the Comfort Inn aren't seeing a decline in customers either.
It doesn't really affect me because I don't really see E. coli ever affecting me. I don't think about it.
Tammy Grant from Iowa has come to the lake before. She says she's not worried because she's seen it before.
I guess at home in Des Moines we usually have E. coli in our reservoir, so I don't know, it doesn't really bother me.
Lake leaders didn't have in numbers yet on the holiday weekend, but are hoping the lowered levels and higher interest pays off by Monday. CiaraCorley, KLMU 8 News, Lake of the Ozarks. Do you know what bath salts are? And no, I'm not talking about the ones you put in your tub. This bath salt is a synthetic form and has similar effects to cocaine or methamphetamine. It's being labeled as dangerous and hazardous. Fulton Police Chief Steve Myers says his department is becoming more familiar with it.
Well, technically it's a synthetic drug that presently is not illegal in the state of Missouri, but we're also seeing quite a few synthetic drugs on the market today that aren't illegal. Now, most of all these packaging will say that it's not for human consumption, but then that certainly doesn't stop people from using it.
The drug is also sold under aliases like Ivory Wave, Bolivian Bath, Cloud 9, and Blue Silk, just to name a few. It is also sometimes called White Bliss or White Lightning.
There's two ways to ingest it. They crush it up into a powdery form and snort it, and they also liquefy it with other substances and inject it. I understand that are the two main ways that you can use the bath salt. Just eating it or swallowing it really doesn't give much reaction from what I understand.
I picked up this bath salt called White Lady at a local gas station in Columbia. It looks like cocaine, and you can purchase it at truck stops, smoke shops, and even online. Now, it costs between $30 and $50 per package, depending on the amount you want to buy. A key ingredient in the salt is a chemical compound called MDPV. Packaging even says not labeled for human consumption. It's a psychoactive drug that has stimulant qualities which can cause side effects like violent, rapid heart rate, hallucinations, suicides, and even death. So far, bath salts have been linked to 3 deaths in Missouri, one in St. Charles, another in Kansas City, and another in St. Joseph. According to the National Poison Control Center, more than 300 calls have been made in regards to bath salts in 2011. The Missouri Poison Control has received 87 calls this year, about 5 times more than last year.
Well, I think a big issue is public safety. We're getting reports almost daily of individuals that are in the hospital. There are people that have died from the bath salts already in the state of Missouri.
8 states have already banned the salts. Some are Louisiana, Florida, North Dakota, and Washington. Now Missouri may join them. Representative Ward France sponsored legislation that expands the definition of synthetic drugs.
We include some terms like indoles and analogs and homologs, which to the average person don't make sense. But to a chemist, when you tweak the compound like one molecule, you would make an analog of that compound. So that's how these individuals are getting around the law.
Columbia police say they know of 2 stores in town that sell the salts, Retroactive and Sinclair's gas station on Range Line. The use of the drug in Missouri seems to be growing in popularity, especially among male teens and others in their mid-20s. Bokomo Bay owner Kevin Bay says he doesn't carry the drugs because it's not safe for his customers.
I just don't believe in bath salts, and I care about our customers. And I don't need a law to not carry them. It's personal ethics. Again, responsibility with freedom.
But he's also worried that the new legislation will shut his doors because it's not specific enough. Representative Ward France insists the new law would eliminate much of the problem because stores wouldn't be allowed to sell the drugs.
For those that are selling it, you know, you're doing this for the wrong reasons. You're putting lives in danger to make $1, to make $1. And I think that's wrong. And I'm just pleading with them to stop, because if they would quit doing it, then we wouldn't have the problem.
CiaraCorley, KOMU 8 News, Jefferson City. 2 weeks before, about 20,000 bike riders rode into Columbia. Many businesses prepared for economic success. Columbia's district prepared as well.
We put together coupon sheets, maps, directions on how to get to the district, and we hand them out.
Some businesses did experience a small increase in revenue then. Christina Kelly, who owns Makes Sense, says she had staff prepared to stay later expecting a rush.
We didn't post extended hours, but I had staff prepared to be here extended hours. Like if we were really busy, we weren't going to just shut the door at 6 o'clock.
But some downtown businesses didn't see any bikers at all.
Didn't see too many people as a result of the roundup. I don't recall having seen anybody downtown from the roundup.
Now Walker says Blue Stem is still prepared for this new motorcycle visit.
Because we had 2 motorcycle roundups this month, we had the work of Joseph Farmer, who makes the Harley Birds.
Businesses say they expect more patrons this time around with the Hog State Rally. But some businesses say they won't be preparing extensively this time around. CiaraCorley, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.